Good morning, Wednesday, May 13th. How are you? I have decided that it is Unicorn Day. Happy Unicorn Day.
Thank you.
Universally celebrated. Many of you at home, I know, already have unicorn, cute little headbands and stuff. I will attach this. You can print it at home if you need to, but I don't think any of you need to.
It's fantastic.
It is fantastic. Thank you. Dylan, you seem to not have one on your head.
I must have missed the...
I'll print you an extra one
Thank
today.
you.
Don't you worry. All right, so we're going to do just a couple fun little unicorn activities today. So yesterday I was tinkering around on the internet. It was supposed to be popcorn day today. That didn't work. So the internet gives you a couple things for unicorn. One of them is using your hand. Now, my family doesn't think this looks like a unicorn. Yours is blank.
I don't think it does either.
But it's a cute little thing where you do your hand and it turns into a unicorn. So that was vetoed. Dylan does not appreciate this, but Jackson said it's not terrible. This is the letter U that you turn into a unicorn. So this is what we're going to do today. So Jackson, you might have better luck with markers and crayons. Oh, do you remember last week when you were looking for maybe a black crayon or a white crayon and they were slim pickings? It occurred to me yesterday why that is. We have all sorts of reds and purples and greens and blues. But all of the less popular colors, black, white, pink, they're all at school. They are, because in kindergarten, for some reason, day one of school, they come with brand new crayons in their pencil pouch. Every color of the rainbow, they're ready. By day two, I need a red. I don't have a yellow. They've eaten them. I don't know where they go. Last year's math program, Mrs. Cerny at the last second would say, we need 17 blue crayons. I don't have a blue. I don't have a blue. So anyway, so that's where all of my good crayons are. All right, back to our activity. Which color are you doing? Okay. So you might need a grown-up's help with this. You want to do a nice big capital U.
Why are you doing purple on purple?
You need a nice big capital U, and you almost need it to be kind of a block. And when you get back up, give them a head at the same time.
I started on that side, bro.
Well, add a head now. Okay, so it looks kind of like the Loch Ness Monster. At least mine does.
Yep.
All right. So now why don't we add 4 legs? And you could even add some hooves at the bottom, Jackson. Okay. 2 of mine has painted her nails different colors. Okay. Now, and while we're here, we could give maybe a nose, maybe an eye to look at, maybe a little smile. Mine looks a little angry. Okay. Now, of course, oh, that's your cap. All right. We, of course, need a unicorn horn. Right? So put the horn on. Okay, now...
Mine smells like blueberry.
Does it? Now for the fun part. Now you need beautiful colors for your unicorn mane and tail.
Black is the most beautiful color.
No, there aren't. It's your goth unicorn. Okay, so add, and I'm doing pink. I'm gonna also do some purple for some accents. What else do we have? Maybe a different color pink. Okay. So, when you're all done, you have the beautiful U for unicorn.
Uh-huh.
How's yours look? Oh, okay. All right. We also have this silly sheet of unicorn exercises, and Jackson, it's gone right in the recycling can. I don't understand why. All right. We have a few unicorn exercises, and I will attach this as well. Jackson said he will do a couple of them. So, Jackson, as a unicorn, jump 10 times. You already have a horn. Those horns?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, as a unicorn, hop on each foot 5 times each.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, the other ones are shake your tail 10 times. Unicorn jumping jacks, one hand creating a horn 10 times. That's right, Dylan, just like that.
We already have a horn. Those horns?
Those horns. Unicorn kicks 10 times. Or you could neigh and prance like a unicorn for 1 minute.
Hey.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. All right. Stay tuned for the book. Okay, welcome back. Starting chapter 3 today. You'll remember the end of chapter 2. Mrs. Lambchop had drawn Stanley's face on the balloon, so that was a little bit better for the family of keeping track of him. Chapter 3, the first days. The next morning, Mrs. Lambchop wrote a note to Stanley's teacher, tied a stronger string to his balloon, and sent him off to school. Dear Miss Benchley, the note said, Stanley has unexpectedly become invisible. You will find the balloon a useful guide to his presence. Sincerely, Harriet Lambchop. Miss Benchley spoke to the class. We must not stare at where we suppose Stanley to be, she said, or gossip about his state. Nevertheless, word soon reached a newspaper. A reporter visited the school and his story appeared the next day. The headline read, Smiling student. Once you saw him, now you don't. Beneath it were 2 photographs, a before and an after. The before, taken by Miss Benchley a week earlier, showed a smiling Stanley at his desk. The after, taken by the reporter, showed only Stanley's desk and his smiley-faced balloon bobbing above it. The story included a statement by Miss Benchley that Stanley was in fact at the desk and, to the best of her knowledge, smiling. All right, here's a picture. All right. Mr. and Mrs. Lambchop bought several copies of the paper for out-of-town friends. Her colorful balloon artwork lost something in black and white, Mrs. Lambchop said, but on the whole, it had photographed well. Arthur said that Invisible Boy's brother would have been an interesting picture. That's my family. And that Stanley should suggest it if the reporter came around again. Being invisible offered temptations. Mr. and Mrs. Lambchop warned, but Stanley must resist them. It would be wrong to spy on people, for example, or sneak up on them to hear what they were saying. But the next Saturday afternoon, when the Lambchops went to the movies, it was Arthur who could not resist. Don't buy a ticket for Stanley, he whispered at the ticket window. Just hide his balloon. Who'd know? That would be deceitful, dear, said Mrs. Lambchop. 4 seats, please, she told the ticket lady. We want one for our coats, you see. Wasn't that deceitful, sort of? Not in the same way, said Mrs. Lambchop to Arthur, tucking Stanley's balloon beneath his seat. Just as the film began, a very tall man sat directly in front of Stanley, blocking his view. Mr. Lambchop took Stanley on his lap, from which the screen was easily seen, and the people farther back saw right through him without knowing it. Stanley greatly enjoyed the show. See, said Arthur as they went out, Stanley didn't even need a seat. You have a point, said Mr. Lambchop, whose legs had gone to sleep. All right, it's the end of the chapter. See you tomorrow.